This is what you want to do after high school. These are the classes that you need to take. That was my late husband's thing with Amira and our youngest.
Okay.
And so now she's doing that, for preparing for 11th grade. I think I said she was in 11th grade. She's in 10th grade. And now she's preparing like for her junior year. And when they sent home that schedule, like, okay, now she has to choose these classes. I was lost again for, I guess, the second year that I had to do it on my own. And I have to call a counselor. I send an email to the counselor. Okay, this is her track. Which classes does she need to take? Like, don't just ask mom because I'm lost. And so that was a milestone where I'm thinking of him like, gosh, this is his thing. This is what he did with her.
Right. And we did it together. And I was thinking when you were saying it, talking about college. I can remember her being as young as 10, 12 when we started visiting colleges.
Wow.
Because he wanted her, to go to college, and I did too. But I'm just saying, we started. So we started visiting different colleges, and I can remember when she was talking about she wanted to go to a different state, and I was like, baby, we're gonna have to move. He was like, yeah, I knew you would say something like that. And he was like, but I was very serious, But I was thankful also, another milestone, that he was involved in her looking at different colleges, going to different colleges with us to, her determining what college she wanted to go to. And even though we started younger, her doing it when she was younger, I'm thankful that we did. And towards the end, we had to make the decision. He wasn't here, but I'm grateful that he was able to input that in her, where to start looking for colleges and where she wanted to go.
So now your daughter is at that age of dating. She's at the age of dating.
Yes.
And possibly engagement now that she's graduated from college, and marriage.
Right.
So.
Right.
Was he around for the talk?
Yes. And the funniest thing, like I said, once again, things just lined up. He started to talk with her. I think she was in the 6th grade, about boys. I think she was in the 5th grade. So this little boy used to like her, And I can remember Valentine, he had brought her this little teddy bear, and he was like, who is this? Why he bringing you a teddy bear? What you going to bring this home, And I remember him telling me to be quiet, and I said, okay. And so they had the conversation about boys, and, and it went well. And it was one that he did quite often, because as she matured, and then as she got different boys, approached differently, he had to make sure that she was aware of, I'm not going to say the good and the bad, I'm going to say the difference about boys. And the funny thing I was going to say is the guy that she's dating now, we had a Sweet 16. Remember, we had my Sweet 16 bash. And the guy that she's dating now, I would have never thought that my husband would not be here for this. But at her 316, he came to me, my husband came to me, and he said, who is this guy now? It was other guys that was there, but it was just something that he picked up on, that this particular guy liked her. And it's like I say, it's the guy that she's dating now. And so I blew it off. I said, oh, baby, ain't nobody big, just somebody went to class with her. And he was like, no, I need to talk to him. And I was like, why? This is me being mom protected. Oh, he's just another little boy, go to her class. And, da-da-da. He was like, no, I need to talk to her. And I'm so thankful.
He picked up, he discerned that.
He did. Yeah. And I stepped back and said, okay, because if not, he would not have a chance to meet him.
Yeah.
He would not have a chance to talk to him about his daughter, And like I say, they started when she was 16 and she's 22 now. And I didn't think the guy was going to be, somebody she's going to date, because I thought, right. Once again, It lined up, and I'm so
Mom, step
thankful
out of the
that
way.
he did. Go ahead.
This is,
Yes,
I'm starting to see a
saying.
running trend here, like that moms do this interference, you know, when dads are like,
That
no, I'm
mothery.
discerning something now. Let me play my role. Wow.
Yes.
So that's
So
another
listen, mothers.
point right there.
Yeah.
Moms, let dad play their roles. Dad knows.
Yes.
Don't interfere so much.
So that was right, and that was definitely, like I said, a milestone for us because that was the last time, and I remember we were talking about, her 16 bash. They were going to plan a dance and how they was, going to dance together. And I'm thankful. I don't know if you remember, but they did dance together because at the bash we was like, okay, we're running out of time, but they ended up dancing together because that's just how they were,
right. Yeah.
And and she brought afterwards, after he passed, she brought up that he wouldn't be able to dance with her at her wedding. So I said, well, if he danced with you, Maya, you still have that opportunity. You still had that opportunity to dance with your dad.
Right.
Because he danced with you at your sweet 16.
That's very difficult.
Because, at the wedding. Yeah.
But it's,
at weddings
it's
when
so
they
significant.
Have that
yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. And so, that's a moment, a missed moment. Unfortunately, that, both of our daughters, all of our daughters will not have. But the dating, when I think about the dating and preparation, yes, it was very similar where it's always been this conversation of showing Amira, making good choices, whether it's a friend that's a girl or a friend that's a boy. He used this term, he would always ask, do they make good choices? And so that's something even at the age of 15, she says, when she's describing new friends to me, she says, yeah, they make great choices. They're doing this and this and this, and they're involved in this, this, and this. And so that's something that was planted in her about people who make good choices, whether it's a male or female. And one thing that he did when she was like in that teen year, I guess, that 12, preteen, 13, he said to her, one day you're going to have this interest in boys as a, boyfriend or friend, or they're going to have this interest in you. And what I want you to do is I want you to write down your standards. What are your standards? And he also asked her to write down, what is your explanation and definition of a boyfriend, or of dating. He said, because I want you to have your standards and I want you to have your own definition so that no one else defines it for you. And when you have your standards, you stand up to those standards, and everyone that's in your circle, you make sure they understand these are your standards. And so it took her a while because she wasn't really interested in boys and everything. And so, she prepared this long definition and this really great list of standards. And so it was the influence that he had, and she's like, these are my standards. It's, yes, your mom and dad has rules, but we're not going to always be there. So you need to make sure you define them for yourself. So that was the part of the talk that, he started preparing with her. And, we're facing, this year will be her sweet 16.
I know,
it's
right?
It's going to be quite difficult, not to have him there. But I believe that we have good friends, good family. She's an excellent godfather. That is his brother's keeper. That's going to be another episode that we talk about, or a topic. But he, he was there. He flew in from Virginia to be here for her drill team dance, like father and daughter dance on the field during homecoming last year. And he flew in to practice his dance
Milestones.
and to dance with her on the field, and they had a ball, and he's been in her life ever since she was born. So they have that great relationship, and it's like my late husband prepared him for this moment because they're very, very similar. And so we know that we have that family and that support, to help us through those type of milestones. But it's going to be difficult because there's no replacing that father. It's no replacing that type of father. And some people, this type of father that we're describing may even be foreign, because I think fathers have transitioned from when we were growing up. The type of father, like my father would have never been out there doing certain things or involved in all of this detailed, intricate stuff. Those were hardcore fathers. I go out, I work, I bring in the money, I feed you, I clothe you. Children should be seen and not heard type of fathers. But these fathers were different. So I think we're describing a father that is different than our times. But there's also people who may not have had that type of father or husband in their lives that we're describing.
What about college?
Well, yeah. The college is, I think you did touch on college. You talked about you guys
right, but
chose
you
those
did.
college.
That's what I'm saying. What about you?
College is not in my family or the way we raised our kids, it's not an option. It is
okay.
The next step after high school. And, they've been talking about college. My oldest daughter went to my husband's alma mater, Howard University, HU. And then she did her last year, I believe, I think it was her last year at University of Arlington, and completed her bachelor's degree. And so our youngest is now talking about Clemson University in South Carolina, and she wants to study women's studies. She wants to be a gynecologist. So it's always been a conversation. It's always been that track of what's next. And hey, if you want to go to college, get your degree, and you want to be an entrepreneur and do something different than what you studied, that's cool, but just get that paper. And so he's prepared her for,
so he was able to
influence. Yeah, we talked about education all the time, and like I was saying, that he was doing the schedule, the high school schedule, and choosing classes and things like that, because when you choose here in Texas, or at least where we are, your high school track, that is the track the path that you take, those classes to prepare you for post-secondary education. So if you want to go into law or veterinarian, then that's the kind of track that you're on. So because she wants to go into medical field, the honors and AP classes that she's taking is preparing her for that. So, him working with her on, okay, what do you want to do after school? And she wasn't really quite sure gynecologist, but she knew something in the medical field. He was like, okay, you need to take these AP classes. You need to be doing science. You need to be doing, higher level math and things like that. So that was preparation. And we just together, we prepared her for what's next. But going off, like you said, I remember taking Erica to college, the both of us, and flying in and packing the trunk and moving her into Howard University and taking her around campus. And, together we did that. Together we pulled off crying. And so not having that moment together with Amira will be very difficult.
Difficult for me too.
It's going to be, difficult for the family. And so, yeah. But
what about your anniversary?
My anniversary. Yeah. I've celebrated I guess two without him.